speaker is here, and she is Michelle. Michelle has been doing a main series of speeches with District Control Learning Lab, and this is her third speech today. And she's going to talk about how to get in front of the right audience as a professional speaker. And this session will show you how to align your message with the audience who need it most. And the main key takeaways from this lesson is identify ideal speaking opportunities, align with your expertise, learn how to pitch yourself and professionally and confidentially, build a brand, and that gets you on the right stage. So, Michelle, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. So, these are the things. And so it is my pleasure to introduce Michelle Kuei, and Michelle, floor is yours.
Thank you. I will be honest that I think there's a glitch in my mind yesterday as I was prepping the presentation because this is the third presentation I'm doing, and it is more of a workshop style rather than a speech. And when I was looking at my title, I went ahead and prepared my November topic, which is how to use social media to build credibility and get speaking gig. Now I am going to table the topic for October to November. So November we'll talk about how to get in front of the right audience as a speaker. For now, I am going to present on how to use social media to build that credibility and speaking gig. Now, the two topics are actually related to each other because you do need to have the right profile. You need to have the right social media presentation in order to get in front of the right audience as a professional speaker. So the two topics are actually very related. So with that said, those of you who are coming back, I see Bob. Thank you so much for your loyal support. I see your face every month. I really appreciate it. And also thank you so much for inviting me to the Learning Lab. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let me make sure I have the right screen to share. There we go. Okay, so today we are going to talk about how to use social media to build the credibility and getting speaking gig. No matter what your goal is when you first join Toastmaster, I'm going to guess that social media it might be something that you never thought about that, oh, I could actually have more opportunity if I leverage it the right way. Now, here's what you might not know about me if you have not followed me on social. I am a social media queen. If you follow me on social, I have a lot of big presence on social. And reason being, this is part of my work. I am a visibility marketing coach, and I work with a lot of female coaches to help them to build their coaching business. And one of the gift area that I am really great at is doing marketing, and social media is just one of the channel that I teach them how to build their business. If you are new to me, I'm Michelle, and I've been a Toastmaster since 2018 and area director in the past. I also co-chair in the Speaker Bureau. I have participated in the International Speech Contest twice, and the first time won a second place, and the second time I can remember, but the trophy is in the back. But this is not about me. This is more about you. I want to show you the tips and also the strategies of how I was able to position myself on social to build that authority as a speaker. Now, Here's what I would suggest you to do is you wanted to open up and keep in mind your which social media channel that you would like to be on, or maybe you've been thinking about, oh, I should check out Facebook more. I should check out LinkedIn more. I would like to do something about my LinkedIn profile. If that is the case, I suggest that and I recommend that you actually keep your social media profile in mind as I go through each of the strategies, and you can think about where you might be needing more support, or maybe you wanted to go back and revisit after my presentation today. Okay, so the first and most important thing about social is what you want to do is you want to make sure that your profile is speaker ready. Okay. If you think about your profile right now, does it say anything or give any hints that you are a speaker? We're not talking about professional speaker yet. Some of you might not have that goal of I like to get paid to speak. Totally okay, totally understandable. But does it demonstrate or show off your skill as a speaker? Maybe at work you have this opportunity to present for workshop. Maybe you have project that you can present, whether it's within your organization or outside of the organization. Do people have that in mind? So how you want to make your profile better is by giving it a headline. Now, I am going to later, I will show you, I'll give you an example of what that looks like. But if you think about the LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, there's always going to be a header or a bio section where you can give up to 110 or sometimes a little more of character that position you as the expert. Now, you could be at work full time in a corporate job. That little headline should give people enough information about what you do, who you are, what you're good at, and who you're trying to reach. Okay, so think about it as a mini website that you can use for free on social media. Now, so that's the header section. You have, are you a speaker? Are you a HR manager? Or whatever position that you're in that you would like to demonstrate, you wanted to showcase that as the first portion. Then there's the banner. I'm going to stop share screen and just show you my using my profile as an example. So I'm a visual learner, so it makes it easier for me to demonstrate. Okay, so here's the header, right underneath my name, there's the header. Now, on top of it, this is an area where a lot of people neglect or don't actually maximize in using. So the top is a banner. Now, how do you create a banner? A banner could be most of you out there might be using like pretty picture, but pretty picture doesn't tell me anything about it, and it's a free asset. So as I said, think of your social media like a mini website that it's completely free, it's entirely owned by you, and what do you want to do with it is entirely up to you, right? So you wanted to make sure you leverage that top banner to give as much information as possible in the shortest amount of time. Now, even before someone scroll to my profile or look at, oh, what is her experience, they immediately know who I'm targeting to, right? The audience I'm targeting to, and what is it I'm helping them to do. So there's a little tiny positioning statement that goes, I teach female life coaches building a coaching business, but for you, it might be something different. I coach, I work with, I partner, or maybe it's a wisdom saying, your quote, your personal quote. However you want to position yourself, that should be displayed within split of second when someone land on your page. So that's the banner area that a lot of you are not really optimizing. And I truly believe that without scrolling, you want to keep the work at the minimum so that someone doesn't have to go down and keep scrolling. Oh, what does she do? What does she talk about? What kind of topic, expertise? Who is this person about? So use and maximize that banner area. Let me go back to my other screen. There's a lot of toggling today. All right, so here we have So we talked about the header, we talked about the banner. The next one is there's a one link only. So if you look under your LinkedIn profile, there, it allows you to send your traffic. I can't remember if the free account allow you to do that, but I believe it does. You can add a link. Okay, where does that link go to? The link might go to, if you don't have a website, maybe you have a PDF. Maybe you have a PDF, your speaker one sheet, which we didn't talk about, but I can add it to my next year's topic, maybe. We can talk about your speaker one sheet, and that link will take someone, a visitor, to go to that speaker one sheet. It's kind of like your resume, okay? We all have resume, we have a curriculum vitae. So that one link tells people about what you do, what your experience is, what your educational background is, what your credibility is. And so it's actually just sitting there and selling for you the whole entire time. I'm using the word selling, but some of you might not be selling anything, right? You're selling yourself, you're selling your credibility, you're selling your talent, you're selling your speaking skill. So that link goes to a summary page of who you are and how can people invite you to speak, or someone can invite you to an event or networking place, or maybe it's a new job. So whatever that link that takes them to, you wanted to make sure that that link is visible and that it's easy to access. So LinkedIn allows you to do that. Facebook also allow you to have a link. Instagram, if you're hanging out on Instagram, it also allow you to have a link. Even YouTube, you can also have links. So make sure you utilize every single asset that comes with that platform. Okay, so think about your own platform. Think about where you are now. Where do you hang out? Even when you are just scrolling, you're not really thinking about work. Maybe you're on Facebook. Opportunity is everywhere. All right. So we talk so much about making your profile ready, right? Speaker ready. So that's step number one. Step number two is you want to start posting the kind of content that event planner will get noticed. Okay, so what are those content? These content could be if you like to write, maybe there's article, or maybe there's short insights or wisdoms that you share on LinkedIn, on Facebook, stories. I know a lot of Toastmasters friend request me on my Facebook, and a lot of the time I see them posting. I see them posting about the stuff they talk about in their club. I see posts that they talk about in their life, or presentation that they have done. All these are great content. Okay, so anything that you put out on social or create it into the world, these are content that you share to the world so people can know more about you and the person who's written them. Now, I don't suggest, as you're thinking about posting the type of content that event planner will notice, I don't suggest that you share other people's posts. If you're going to be invited as a speaker or to be seen as the expert, you need to start creating your own thing. Okay, so it's one thing to share other people's idea. It's one thing to share other people's inspirational quote. But in order to position you as the expert, you need to start coming up with your own reflection. So before you share or reshare a post, I want you to think about, what does this post mean to me? And how and what type of value do I want my audience to walk away with? So before you share an inspiration quote, think about, what does it mean to me? And how I would like to have my audience walk away with ideas. So it could be, I don't know, Les Brown. Les Brown say something amazing on the stage, but that's Les Brown. You, Bob Martin, has a different set of perspective. You have different set of point of view. You want to share Les Brown, fine, but talk about your own reflection. That will allow you to position you very differently from Les Brown, because there's no one speaker the same. So be sure when you share these type of content, come up with your own content. Okay, what did you learn? What did you learn from this lesson? What are your story? We spend a lot of time talking about the message, right? The first presentation that I did, I don't know if you're able to access the recording from the Learning Lab, but that session was all about coming up with your own message. So what is that message? And highlight it, amplify it, make the world hear your voice. All right, so that's step number two is you want to post the type of content that people will actually notice. Whoever needs to notice and invite you to speak, that person needs to notice. Then your next step is look for call for speakers on the right there on the social. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. There's also Google and ChatGPT now can summarize a lot of these call for speaker website for you. The research has become a lot easier. But if you are spending time on LinkedIn, Instagram, or maybe it's inside a Facebook group, what you want to look for is hashtags or just simply the keyword call for speakers. There's call for speakers by a lot of different summits, event, virtually and in person, where event organization they're sharing on LinkedIn, specifically more on LinkedIn. And you can go to the research bar and where it says, I'm looking for, if you type in there, call for speaker, it's going to summarize a list of all the events that has that hashtag call for speaker. Now, it's going to take some your research time to figure out, okay, which event is aligned to me, the topic that I'm speaking on, and also whether or not this is a legitimate and not a spam fake event. Okay, so there's a lot of them out there where you have to pay a small fee in order to speak. I would avoid those. Okay, really do sit down and do your research on these call for speaker if you're going to go to this route of looking for event on your own. Okay, but this is how I got started. I look for call for speaker on LinkedIn. And what I do is I'll reach out and connect with that individual, or I'll explore and research a lot more about the background to the event. It was very time consuming. But if you think about the return of revenue, if you're doing this professionally, if you look at the return of investment, right, even if you just land 2 speaking gig per quarter, you would have good amount of speaking events that you can leverage. So that's another way to look for call for speaker. Hashtag on Instagram, it works, but not so much anymore because a lot of the hashtags are going away because the AI automation. So the hashtag, you can still follow them. You can still check out what type of event is out there. And if you see one, I recently pitched to one because I came across they are posting, they have an event. So I reach out to them in a direct message. So these are the type of things that you can do on social. But make sure that you have that first impression ready, right? So the profile needs to be speaker ready so that when they click, they know, oh, you're a professional speaker and not just some random person sending them a pitch. So that's call. How do you look for a speaking event for call based on call for speaker? The next step is you want to build relationship like a right human being, like right human. Now think about, I like to have like empathy, right? If I don't like to receive a car salesperson pitching me or selling me or pushing hard in promoting their business, then chances are I don't want someone to feel that way as well. So I want to build relationship with that person. Think of your social media as a big giant networking event that you're going to attend, and you're in there in that social networking event. How do you connect with someone in person? Well, I'm going to walk up to that person. I'm going to first introduce myself, and I'm going to learn a lot more about what that person do, where does that person work, right? So same method and same strategy. You want to use that in a social media world, in the virtual world, because we're still dealing with people. So just because we don't see each other doesn't mean that we don't have feeling, we don't have our perception of who this person is, right? Just because we're behind the screen doesn't make us less human. So you wanted to build that relationship with that person. So um, don't expect to turn around and say, oh, you know what? I have this great event. I think you should be a speaker. You want to build a long-term relationship with that person. Okay. So get to not know that person. If that person has a podcast, go and subscribe to that podcast. If you like it, great. Send a couple of thoughtful, meaningful reflection to that person. Say, hey, I listened to your podcast this morning and it was great. I really loved it. So build that relationship with that person so that that person feel like, oh, this is actually something different because you actually come off in a very genuine, authentic way. And that is going to help you in the future to make future connection. So here's how I typically do it. Every week, I will set up at least 5, 10 minutes and just to go to LinkedIn and see who I need to connect with. Right. And I have a list of all these different friends. I would send them a friendly message. Hey, it's been a while since I last talked to you. How you doing? And leave it at that. I don't need to sell to that person for anything. I don't need to, hey, do you have an event? Can I come to your event? Do you need a speaker? Can I come and speak? I don't need to do that. All right. So enough of building relationship with the right humans. The next step is to use the feature to boost your discoverability. Um, so how do you do this? Now, on LinkedIn, you have, just like your banner section, you have a lot of ways to leverage this. Okay. Um, on your LinkedIn profile, I believe this needs to be a premium account. So if you see someone has a little yellow IN LinkedIn logo, chances are they're going to have this feature area. So you'll notice that the feature section is the area that's right above your profile or your post, and that sits just right there hanging out. Now, a lot of members and even speakers who use that feature area as like a feature area. So what I mean by that, so let's say they go and attend an event and there's someone wrote an article about them or they taken pictures about this speaker speaking on the stage. So what happened is you post and you can pin the post to add to features. So if I were to do this, right, I wrote a post, I can feature it to the top of my profile. Now that post is going to get pinned right here in this feature section. There's a couple of good things and bad things about it. Depending on how you share the post, it might come from someone else. So in other words, when I pin it to the post, it's going to take me to an outside link that take people away from me. Now, I am very selfish when it comes to my profile. I want to keep everybody on my profile. I need to be the center of attention. And I recommend that you do too, especially when it comes to your own website, when it comes to your own profile. You want to keep people on your profile for as long as possible so they are curious enough to explore more about what you do and who you are. Okay, so keep that in mind that you want to keep people on your profile for as long as you can, as much as you can, and this way they can explore as many things as possible about who you are in order to build that trust, that layer of trust. Okay, so knowing that, how you leverage this section in the feature section is you want to highlight everything about you and what you want your audience to do as a next step. So for me, yes, I have been on many different podcasts. Many people have invited me to, and I can continue to share and repost them here in the feature section. But I also have my own podcast. This is a place where I can position myself as the expert. So use that opportunity and bring people to what you do. So you can create a little graphic for yourself using Canva. Canva has a free account, and Canva is probably going to be your best friend if we're talking about social and building a social presence. Create a thumbnail, okay, a little cover art that you can talk about what you do as a speaker, and you can put your photo on there. And on the bottom, you can say, "Well, here's a speaking engagement that I was a keynote at. Here's a workshop that I have conducted in the past, and here's the link to take them to that link." Okay, so everything that they see is about you. So when I click on here, I can click view, and that will take people to a different stage, which is still about me. So that's the feature section on your LinkedIn. Now, when you post something, you can create mention. Okay, I don't like to mention just because I feel I don't like tagging people, period. So, let me just, we're going back to slide. So you can write a post on your LinkedIn or share something about yourself, and you wanted to make sure that you mention, right? I was at District 100 doing a workshop. So you can mention, put a little at Toastmaster District 100. It's going to tag them to say, "Hey, I just mentioned you." And that's going to allow the other person to say, "Oh, I just got mentioned. Let me go check it out. What did they say about me?" We're all nosy about that, right? So we're all nosy about, like, so this person mentioned me. Why? So you're curious, you go, and chances are you're going to like that post. And that's the thing about sending a short notification to that person. If you publish newsletter, the newsletter, depending on how many people subscribe to your newsletter, they also get a notification that, "Oh, Michelle had written an article." So where is it? Here it is. So you can have newsletters that would allow you to publish, also further position your expertise. Instagram, you can pin your profile. So there, when you go to Instagram, you'll see some of the posts and profile. Some of the posts, they just don't move, right? You keep scrolling, but it's always the same on that grid. That's what a pin post would be. You can use a lot of different features they have already on social to create that visibility, to build that authority. YouTube, you can create a speaker playlist. Let's say you don't have a speaker profile, or you don't have a speaker website to send people to send the event organization, but you have done quite a bit of workshops or a presentation that you had it recorded on a tape. Then go to YouTube and create a playlist, which is completely free, right? You can do this for free. Play a playlist that you can send to your event coordinator or your interviewer. However that you can leverage that, I would just create a link and grab that link, and maybe even create a QR code and put it on your resume or a speaker one sheet, so that people can go and watch all the speaking reels. Facebook, you wanted to make sure that you stay active and engage inside the group. I see a lot of speakers inside speaker groups, right? They're all asking questions. If someone else asks a question, the speakers would jump in and just share their own experience. So stay active and engage inside your group will also increase your discoverability, to make sure that people who need speakers will be able to invite you to come and speak. So the next slide is about, what do you do to get these speaker ready or stage ready, and plus all the things that you might want to consider doing. So I created a kind of like a workflow for myself, where every single day I would take one activity and incorporate it in my everyday practice. This way I would know exactly what do I need to do, right, in order to get my next speaking gig. So that includes, maybe Monday, I would do a LinkedIn search, call for speaker, and I would have a spreadsheet where I track all the speaking opportunity, because once you research them, it takes time to reach out to them, to actually invite yourself, right? And it's kind of like, hey, you have a party, can I come? Can I come to your party? I'm gonna go knock on your door and say, hey, Katie, it looks like you have a party coming up in couple of months. Can I come to your party? So that's what you kind of wanted to do. Once you find those speaking opportunity, you want to invite yourself to their party. And then Tuesday, I would send out. This is about building the connection, right? You wanted to either send out or reach out to a couple of people that you might not know of, or maybe you wanted to reconnect with them. And you wanted to keep a tracking sheet so that you can always go back and know what stage of the conversation process you're at. So I have a spreadsheet where I track and log all these conversations. And Wednesday, I would write a post about my beliefs and the things, my key message that I wanted to share to the world. And those are the things that will go on there. And maybe it's a speaking engagement that I am recently on, then I wanted to make sure that I talk about it and kind of brag about it, right? So that more people would know that, hey, Michelle doesn't just do a virtual presentation. She actually go out and she speak on the stage. So those are the type of activity that you can consider. And that will only take you no more than 30 minutes at most. Right. So if you're busy schedule, if you have a larger job and you're looking to get invitation to speak as a professional speaker, or even just doing workshop at your organization, people invite event coordinators and event planner. They invite experts, right? So how can we get your social media to position you as the expert so that people would more likely to invite you to a speaking engagement? This is how we're going to do it, and this is completely free, right? None of this you need to spend a dime. So that's leverage that social media presence to help you to establish that credibility, to establish that authority, so that the right people would come across the post that would help you, kind of like a newspaper paper. Back in the day, maybe I don't want to give away like I don't want to do call out because I know Bob is so young. So back in the days, back in the days, we submit our little profile or creating an ad and put it onto newspaper. Or hopefully someone who's reading the newspaper, they will come across and read that little tiny blogs about Bob, who's a professional speaker, who's a professional presenter. And we used to do that little tiny box, and that costs us probably like $250 or something like that, right? In order to get that one slight chance of someone noticing. Now you can be as loud as you want or as quiet as you want on social media. So the way that I like to think about the whole social media world is that you get to plant the seed where you want to see growth. Okay, you plant the seed where you want to see the growth. You can plant the seed where, I don't like social, it's too noisy, it's too loud, there's a lot of bad people out there. Or you can plant the seed of opportunity. You can plant the seed of hope. You can plant the seed of, I am going to influence and change the world one post at a time, or one talk at a time. So you attract the person or the people and the audience that you want to attract. So when I am on social, I don't scroll, I don't get myself involved with these controversial topics and talk, because I know that if I am in a conflict, if I'm in chaos, then I'm going to bring more chaos. Right? But if I am coming out from an intention of my message has a deeper impact, it is important to those who need to hear, and my intention is to spread that good to more people, then how I am showing up on social is going to be very different. And that is how you position yourself as a speaker, as an expert, how you leverage your social media to get you more speaking gig. Okay? Because why would anybody want to invite you to speak? Well, chances are your idea matters, your voice matters, and how you impact and leave an imprint for those who's listening also matters. So think of everything that you do and use on social as your microphone, and how what you do to that microphone, it will matter. So I am going to leave you at that, and I will open up. What I'll do is, if you want me to like look at your profile, I know I had a conversation with Umanga before that I told her that I would look at her profile, which I never got to. So those of you who would like me to do a live audit on your LinkedIn profile, I'm happy to do that with the remaining of the time. And I will also open up if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Okay, Katie is here, raising her hand.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was in a meeting of Rockstar Women Speakers. That's why I couldn't be here when we began.
No
But
worries. I recorded this. Don't worry.
thank you. You were talking about a professional LinkedIn profile. I just have the free one and I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. It's getting to be time where I should probably look at it. How expensive is the professional one?
With the subscription, I believe I pay $79 a month.
Okay. At some point, I'll figure that that's worth it, but at the moment, I'm not sure.
So even with the free version, you can still do a lot of the things that I talked about, like including your header, right? Changing the header, changing the top banner area where you can have a really simple call to action, and just talk about. So in your case, you're a great storyteller, by the way, Katie. I love the story that you share. Like, you're great
Thank
at
you.
storytelling. So on the top of your banner, I would totally leverage that, and in the underneath it, maybe have someone reach out to you via a direct message or send you an email. You can always tell people how to contact you. And on the bottom, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of like the feature area, but that's okay, right? You can still have a couple of posts that you've written and you pinned it to yourself. So that's a you wrote a post about storytelling topic that you talk about. You can still write a post and pin it to the feature section, and people can still stay within your profile.
Thank you, Michelle. This is really incredibly valuable. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you, Michelle. So you want me to share my LinkedIn? I like to
Sure. Can you drop the link in the chat so I can share screen from my side and walk you through it?
Sure.
And this will also give people a chance to follow you. Okay.
See it.
Yep. All right. So I would like to start by just asking, Umanga, so who are you trying to reach? Like what purpose, or how can we get you in front of more people that you want to get in front of?
My background is I do have a chemistry PhD, and I wanted to be a scientist. So my background is to reaching out to the people who are in the science field, especially chemistry or material science. That is my target.
If I were to ask you, what's so good about chemistry?
The simple answer is everything made of chemistry. Why I say that? Everything means if we talk about food, if we talk about clothes, if we talk about air, everywhere chemistry is there. That's why I love chemistry.
Okay, so here's an idea for your banner. Okay. On top of the banner, what you want, since you're reaching out to the people also in the chemistry field or the science field, you can just say exactly what you just told me. Chemistry is everywhere. So on the banner here, okay, chemistry is everywhere. I am a scientist and I love science. Okay, so on here, you can say your doctor's degree, postdoc research associate at Los Alamos National Library. Now, this is short, right? But you're also a speaker. You can talk about chemistry all day long, and I have heard your talk about chemistry all day long. So,
Actually, one of my bad thing. I was a postdoc at lab. My postdoc was ended in January. So it is my bad. I did not update that one too, as you can see.
yeah, when Michelle said, "Oh my God, go update your profile," you never did. Which is very common. That's okay. I get a lot of clients like this. So that's the first step that you wanted to do is update your banner. Chemistry is everywhere. Make it pretty. Make it your style. Do you have Canva account?
I do, yes.
Okay. I think most of us have Canva account nowadays. So go to Canva, type in the search bar LinkedIn banner, and pick one that you like. That's your style. Use that and type in the word chemistry is everywhere. Okay. Now you're gonna update that profile. I know you have a free account, but that's okay. It should still allow you to update that profile, the banner. And then underneath here, please update your credential. Okay. So what you want to be seen first is going to be the first that comes. Okay. So if you're doctors of chemistry, you wanted to put that as your first positioning statement.
Sure.
Okay. And then the rest of it would be whatever that you want to show. So like on the top, I want to make sure that this statement gets seen first. And that's why it goes first. Okay. This is why it's first. Right here, helping female coaches so that when I go to someone else's page to comment, guess what they're going to see? They're going to see this line first. Okay. So same thing for those of you who want to position as speaker or workshop facilitator, you wanted to make sure that people can see right underneath Michelle, I have workshop facilitator or professional speaker as my first couple of words, because that's what's going to be seen for others. And then the rest of them is more for when they land on this page so that they can see, right? So update that section.
Sure.
When I click on this contact info, where does that take me? Okay. All right, so it'll just take me to the profile again, right? That's fine. That's okay. And then here, your next session would be the about. Show a little more personality to the about section. About section is your great way of leveraging your authority, your credibility. Treat it kind of like a almost like a mini resume section, but more conversational. Okay. I am a postdoc. I received my postdoc in chemistry because I have a love for chemistry, and I believe chemistry is everywhere. So something like that would help so that people can sense your passion and not just your dry resume that you send to them professionally when you're looking for a job, which is important, but people also want to have a little bit of personality. So why do people interview us? Because we want to walk in and demonstrate, like, is this person like not crazy? Do I need to worry about hiring this person? Does this person have a sense of humor? Is there a personality? Are they going to work well with my current employee, right? You want to give people a little taste of your personality right here in the About Me section. Now, since this is a professional profile that you can potentially help your career, how I would do is, like I said, a little a statement about you, what you love about chemistry, and underneath it, you can kind of mimic what the sections on your resume. So your experience, your credential, your publication. Right here are some of the highlights to my publication. If you like to talk or if you have opportunity, send me an email. Okay, so expand this a little bit more. I'll show you a little bit of mine. So my About Me is very conversational, right? You're probably wondering, okay, who is this Michelle Kuei and why does she think that she can help me? And that would kind of call people out, right? Yeah, I'm thinking like, how can you help me? That would make them wanting to open it up to read some more. So I'm a storyteller, so I kind of do mine in a storytelling way. And then underneath here, I have like the way that they can contact me. So mine is more towards business to business or B2B, and also business to directly to customer and consumer, so B2C. So it's less formal in the way. But elaborate it, use it to your advantage. If you're going to get it in front of people who's going to do the hiring, you definitely want to have a little more than just this.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Experiences. Now, in here, most people just leave it at that. I don't know if the free account allow you to do that, but so please do double check. But experiences, once you talk about postdoc research associate, you want to kind of give people about a little blurb about what you have learned or what you have done.
Sure.
During that period of time. Okay, so let's say you release publication. You wanted to talk about, I released and published 3 different articles, and it was featured in this article.
Sure.
Okay, and these are the things I have learned. What did you do during those postdoc research association time? There's a lot of transferable skills that we learn as a Toastmasters, but also apply to your previous job. What did you do during that period of time? So this is great, but you can also do that, expand that with the experiences. Like, what did you do? What did you experience? What are the skills that you have learned from that experience?
Sure.
Expand on that. And whichever one that you want to highlight, you wanted to make sure to show that first.
Sure.
Okay. All right, education, same thing with the education. There's a little section that you can expand. You can write a couple of forms, a couple of sentences about what did you learn. People always want to know like what you learned. Everybody knows that doctor, PhD in chemistry, but exactly what did you learn? Maybe you didn't learn anything. Maybe you did, but tell me more. Right? People are curious about, they want to know, what did you learn? What did you do? Same thing with licensing and distinguished Toastmaster. What does that mean? You wanted to assume that a lot of people who come to your profile have no idea what that means. They don't know what it is. Like people who never joined Toastmasters, they have no idea what Toastmasters is.
Good.
Right? So tell people that, hey, being a distinguished Toastmaster means I deliver several different speeches and I qualify, and it was a great experience. But how, right? You want to give people more context in terms of what does that mean to be a Toastmaster? What does that mean to be an area director? So a lot of these areas on your LinkedIn profile, you can expand, and same thing apply to your Facebook. So Facebook also allow you to do that. Instagram, not so much. Instagram is more aesthetic, more visual. So if you like to hang out on Instagram, that's a place where you can do a lot of pictures. You can do a lot of short videos, which allow you to position your expertise. So Instagram, not so much, but Facebook and LinkedIn, anywhere that you can leverage and put more content, more text, always do that. It's free. And I promise you, you won't break it. Okay. You won't break the platform. So do everything in your power to do so.
Yeah.
Awards and honor, that's great. Organization. I don't know if the free account allow you to request review. So when you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see review or recommendations.
Okay.
Okay, so you can request for more recommendations. So see where it says ask for a recommendation. You can click and ask for recommendation from people that you have connected in the past, whether it's from your colleague in the past or from people that you have worked with. What I would suggest that you go in there and then request the people that you have worked with to, hey, can you leave me a couple of sentences about how your experience in working with me? What that's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to have like kind of like a social proof of what kind of person Umaga is and what kind of experience can I expect when I'm working with her.
Sure.
Okay, so that's going to allow the people who's job hunting or hunters to look at your profile and say, oh, I like her personality. Oh, I like what she does here. Oh, she has a skill in this area. I can totally match it with what I'm looking for. So you're giving people a little more background in terms of who you are. And essentially your profile is selling for you. So
Sure.
instead of you going out there and looking for a job, the job hunter, they're constantly looking for right candidate that they can invite, they can hire, right? So you're creating your profile and positioning so that you can save yourself time, at least like maybe a fraction of the work, that instead of you going out there looking for a job, the job is actually coming around and looking for you.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents in terms of your profile. But at the very least, this section, you'll notice that I spent a lot of time just now talking about this section without even scrolling, right? Because in order for me to scroll, it actually takes some work. And I don't want people to do the work. I want to stay here, give all the important information that they can get, they can walk away with just by staying here. And if this is their profile for them, they stay. If not, I know you're busy, just keep scrolling because chances are you're not my people anyway.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you, Michelle.
Of course.
Yeah.
And if you have any question, let me know. Reach out to me and I'm happy to walk you through it.
Sure, I will. I will prepare these things and I will let you know. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have not followed me already, go follow me on LinkedIn. All right. Any other questions?
So, I, frankly speaking, I was my bad actually. I did not update my profile, but I was thinking when I update and say, okay, I don't have a job exactly what I did. That's why I didn't do that. But it has an advantage and disadvantage, I believe, because those who want to reach to me, they would not reach to me because I do have still my job is going on. I understand both sides right now, but I will update.
So in this stage of the world and with the technology continue to advance, there's a recent, so I did a workshop for a group of career development group on the East Coast. And one of the things I have researched and came around with was I found that there's a lot of job hunter or HR personnel whose job is solely screening all these applications that comes in from people who are seeking jobs, right? So if you imagine all the application that they have to process and go through, they have no time to read through every single job application.
Yeah.
So how they screen are the job application that stood out, the picture, the headline, the cleanness of the resume, right? Some people like to use like pretty header or pretty stuff. They don't have time for that. They just want to do their job and get their job done and hire. So the less is more. When you're submitting application, you want to make sure the application itself is clean, it's easy to read, has nice font, not the pretty and weird font that nobody can read, no scripted font, right? So you want to make their job easier. Now, when it comes to social, a lot of them are also on LinkedIn. So yes, they might not actively reaching out to you, but they do come across profiles like this. And nowadays with the AI, it's going to show them more often than not, right? Because if you have certain keyword on your LinkedIn profile or Facebook profile, it's going to show up to even the people who's outside of your network. And that's how advanced the technology had gone. Is a lot of people who I don't know, just because I have used the word keyword, like speaker or chemistry PhD, these will show my posts to these people. And I want to be ready that when I'm shown to them, and it just the timing is right, everything is in sync, that they are going to keep me on top of their mind than compared to someone else who's also looking for the same job. And when you reach out to them, it also makes their life easier. Yeah. Hashtag part of the picture. Not so much anymore. Hashtag is great for categorizing your posts. So let's say you have a resilient. Let's say you use the topic resilient. You post or you spoke something about resilient, and you would like to organize in the folder, kind of like think of hashtag as folder. Hashtag resilient in that folder. For people who are looking in that folder to easily come up, then hashtag it's great. Now people are leaning more towards embedded keyword like resilient. So you'll see in an article, I would talk about resilient multiple times, right? Here's a topic that I spoke about on the topic of resilient. And here's what resilient would do for you. Here are 3 things that you would need to do in order to develop your resilient muscle. So you keep seeing like my repetition of the keyword resilient, because the AI is picking up these keywords to show it to the more interested people who like to see that topic. So hashtag yes and no, but nowadays more and more leaning towards the interest and specific topic. Because people complain about the noise that's out there on the social media world. Yeah, search engine optimize, and it's you'll notice Google also changed recently, Katie. If you go to Google, there's a little tiny box on the side, and those are not sponsor ad anymore. Like they are artificially intelligent generated content, because they use that keyword methodology so well that their article gets seen even without paying any ads. It's more of an interest-based content creation nowadays. Yeah. So there's the opportunity is for everybody. Yeah. All right. Bob, did you have something to share with us before we wrap up and end?
No. Yeah. No, I think it's a great job. I think you really nailed it. And for those of you I restarted speaking not all that long ago, but it has been an adventure to see how things have changed and improved over the years. And the availability of information and training and guidance is just more than you can handle. So, and I appreciate your commitment to making it better for us.
Thank you, Bob. You're my loyal fan. It was so good to connect with you on LinkedIn the other day. Yep. All right. If that is it, I will give the microphone back to you, Manga.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. I really enjoyed, because one thing is I'm not a social media person at all, but I know I have to learn and I have to do that. I will. Thank you again. We really appreciate you joining with us.